Здравствуйте, уважаемые зрители! В эфире очередной выпуск программы «Технологии и личности. Цифровая трансформация». В студии ведущий я, Юрий Скачков, и наш гость Maarten Paddenburg, вице-президент и генеральный директор компании Hitachi Data System по региону Северная Европа, Россия и страны СНГ. Добрый день.
Hello, Yuri.
Hello. Our traditional first question. Please introduce your company.
Hitachi Data Systems is part of the bigger Hitachi, a very large Japanese company for more than 100 years old, but very innovative company. We are part, as Hitachi Data Systems, we are part of Hitachi. We have to focus on a worldwide basis to deliver solutions and services to our customers for the digital transformation.
Okay, that's great. So the title of our program is Technology and Personalities. Let's start from personalities. I think it can be interesting for our audience how you started in IT, your career here. Please give us some words.
Things happen by accident, actually, on your way. Like a little kid, I've never dreamed about a career in the IT. My dream was actually to be a captain on a ship and travel a lot. Actually, today I travel a lot and also at the helm of a large company, Northern EMEA and RCIS. So that is actually my passion. But before I came in my current role, I had always interest in business and especially actually also in IT. I liked companies who make things, and I came to the conclusion that I wanted to be active in the IT. And especially at that moment of time, it was in the car manufacturing industry. I started my first career as a salesman, delivering CAD/CAM solutions. And I remember also still one of the first projects where I was involved. I think that was in 2001, where we sold second-hand CAD/CAM system from CATIA for Lada. That was my first job. And if you're in your first job in sales and in the IT, you get other opportunities offered. And a couple of years ago, I think 12 years ago, I really thought, okay, maybe my next step is to go to Hitachi Data Systems. And why? I am still passionate about the technology, the innovation of the company, and bring that to market. So that is actually my background.
Oh yeah, it's interesting because most of the previous guests in this studio had a different career. They started to being in love with first computer in their childhood. So let's move to the digital transformation discussion. Mm-hmm. I would like to start with definition of digital transformation. How do you or your company define this term?
That's a very good question, but I try to explain it in a very simple way. Over the years, Hitachi Data Systems helped customers for the digitalization of the company, right? Everything digital. It started years ago, of course, to digitalize documents, etc., but also the whole business process are digitized. The ERP systems we have today all running on our systems. I call that, let's say, the digitalization of a company. But what the digital transformation really means is that what are you going to use with your data from a business perspective? What can you analyze of your data? With other words, you really have to understand what kind of data is needed, what kind of do I have to analyze actually to run your business in a more agile way. So that is what I see as the digital transformation of a company.
In other words, it's the change of the social life with the help of digital applications.
I think that most of the companies actually are looking for the customer experience. That's where everything is coming from. I think customer experience for a company is important. The brand is very important. And another thing is very important, of course, to make revenue, finding new revenue streams. And to be able to do that, you have to understand the customer behavior, the social environment of customers. And it is from that perspective why it is very attractive and interesting also to get all the information from social media type of information and combine it also with all the structured information what is within companies. And yeah, using that data, blending that data, that is one of the key things actually where customers are looking for. What can you use with all the data from different kind of sources?
So Maarten, Hitachi Data System and Hitachi Limited is well known as innovative companies. Could you please explain which place digital transformation takes in the strategy of these companies?
Digital transformation actually is the priority for Hitachi Data Systems, but also as a whole company. The Internet of Things, digital transformation are maybe the keywords, but we also bring that in reality. Hitachi Data Systems make all kind of industrialized solutions, from power plants, from trains, etc. So we as a company, we need it. We must go into the digital transformation area. And you see also that Hitachi Data Systems play a very important role because digital transformation is very related to the IT. So with other words, it is extremely strategic for the company.
Yes. So this initiative is a clue between different industries which Hitachi, Japanese company, has in his portfolio.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Do you have some positive examples of implementation of this strategy, digital transformation, in European or maybe worldwide companies?
Yeah, we have already a few examples. First of all, I think one of the most interesting things is actually in the UK, where Hitachi has made an agreement with the UK government to deliver train as a service. We can do it in a very efficient way because we use a lot of technology what we analyze to be efficient. That's one example. Another example is maybe very close to our company. Hitachi Data Systems is famous actually that we deliver the goods on time. We see that our customers are buying our goods really on the last moment from a quarter. We are pretty quarterly driven. We have to produce quarterly results. But we cannot have a lot of data or we cannot have a lot of equipment on stock. That is very expensive. And we want to be competitive in our pricing. But at the end of the day, we have also to deliver very fast. It is very difficult to predict actually what we are going to deliver. And normally you do a forecast of the product what you will deliver. But our sales force, they are not always that good to forecast. But you can analyze the behavior of our employees, what they configure. And if you analyze...
Which behavior, sorry, do you mean?
Behavior. For example, we have customers who are asking specific equipment for the data center. And we have to make configurations. We have to compose solutions. And it is our pre-sales organization. They are using systems where there are do configurations, but it is never the final configuration. They're always playing with different scenarios actually to give the best solution to our customers. And that takes time. It is back and forth. When the customer get a proposal from us, they also changing their requirements because they want to have a different price or they want to have a different configuration. But during the quarter, at the end of the quarter, it will be much more difficult actually to understand what we have to deliver. Right? But if you can analyze from a lot of people in our organization what they are doing, you can analyze it. There is a high chance of predictability already what we can ask the factories to produce. So that will mean actually is that without having a proper forecast, we can deliver the goods on time and keep our stock very good in place. And that is technology what we use by ourselves, by different data, different sources, analyze that, and use it and make decision what we will ask the factories to make. And then at the end of the day, we can deliver on time, on the last moment.
Yeah. So both your examples are very impressive. First one is a real example of social innovation, which increase the predictability of the traffic, the level of safety, for sure. And the second one is good example how do you implement it digital transformation in the business. Okay, so maybe you can tell a few words which challenges you faced in these projects.
Well, I think in every digital transformation, The most difficult obstacle actually for a lot of companies is that they have to spend a lot of time on the preparation of the data. I think from 100% time that they are busy with a project for for the digital transformation, they are using 20% of the time analyzing the data, but they spend 80% of preparing all the data. And the reason is very simple actually, because you really have to understand how you want to ingest all the data from all kind of different sources and bring that on a moment into a data lake, and you want to have the data actually real time. And that's very difficult. But the good thing is actually, we as a technology company, we have found a solution for that, to do it very fast. So that, with other words, we turned around. We say to customers, you only have to spend 20% on preparing your data, and you have all the time, 80% to analyze the data just for your business needs, because at the end of the day, you want to understand your data.
Okay, so let's continue this interesting speech after a short break. Уважаемые зрители, небольшая пауза, пожалуйста, не переключайтесь. Уважаемые зрители, мы продолжаем программу «Технологии, личности. Цифровая трансформация». В студии ведущий Юрий Скачков, наш гость Maarten Paddenburg. Hello.
Hi, Юрий.
Hi. We stopped on the question which challenges the company faced in the project of digital transformation. You said that the main challenge is to get and collect proper data. All right. But how can be measured the success and progress of this digital transformation project?
That's a very good question, but also a very difficult question. I think most of the companies have difficulties actually define their business goals for digital transformation. And I think that is the most important thing to do, defining the business goals, what you want to achieve. If you know what you want to achieve, then you can build, let's say, the key performance indicators. Yeah. And I have to admit that there must be some business consultancy is most of the time needed to help customers go through the process, what they want to achieve, and then they can also say, okay, this is what we want to measure. I think that is one of the most important thing to do.
Let's speak a little bit about the roles of the people involved in this project. Mm-hmm. They are business customers, internal business customers, their IT department.
Yes.
From your point of view, who has to lead digital transformation project?
I have seen examples where the CEO of the company will lead it. One of our clients in the Netherlands is a Dutch bank. The CEO is leading the digital transformation. But it can be also the CIO. If the CIO has a very good understanding of their business, their competition, their market, the economical situation where the company is in, and they bring a great value of the technology, what is needed, that can be an outstanding person to lead that.
So we understand the key role of data in digital transformation. Okay, so we know that in some organizations appears the role of a chief data officer. What are their responsibilities?
Well, their responsibility actually is that this is a key person who is very well connected to the business and also where the business want to go, to translate actually what is needed from a technology point of view to build, for example, applications or new customer experience for the company. And it does not always mean that it must be a company. It can be also a government. There are examples where a digital transformation also in the government is established. In smart cities projects, for example. I think more and more large cities have the need actually to organize themselves in a very efficient way. If I look here in Moscow, for example, and I see how busy it is with traffic, and it is very difficult to find a parking place, for example.
Yeah.
But imagine that the government really wants to start a project where they provide an application, for example, where you as a car driver immediately can find somewhere on an application where a space is free somewhere on the street. You can drive to that direction. That is an interesting business case, because what is happening at this moment that a lot of cars are driving around. That's not very environmental friendly, and it's also causing a lot of traffic, yes. Right? So that is an efficient thing where you can optimize, let's say, the environment, but also the efficiency in time. Now, you have to understand how you can translate it into, let's say, into a project where you can provide those applications to the community. And that is, for example, a part of a smart city project. That can be one of the things. And it is the digital transformation officer, I will say, who will get the task to make that happen. And that specific project. Now, what kind of people you need? First of all, you must need people who understand the data and understand where you can collect the data. And in smarter projects, you can also analyze actually that you don't have all the data available. But the question is, how are you going to acquire data? What is not personalized, because what governments can do is that you have personalized data and then bring it actually to the society. But if you're driving in a car, for example, you can make your data, what is available by your mobile phone, for example, where you are at that moment, or that are sensors in the street who measure actually where the parking places are free. You can make that, let's say, not personal, but you bring that data actually to a source, what you can use. That's just an example of where digital transformation officer are busy with. But he must understand the business need. Okay.
So in your answer, you touched Russia, our country. So what strategy or place Russia takes in your business, in your responsibility?
Well, I think that Russia is very strategic for us. And the reason for this is, if you talk about digital transformation, you can make different opinions, of course, where you see where the digital transformation is the highest need. Yeah. Personally, I think that in Russia there's a high need of digital transformation, and it comes actually from one thing what is really important to understand. Over the last 3 years, I think that Russia have a major decline in their GDP, the gross domestic product. Yeah, it is a big number. But I see also some other countries in my region who have also declined in the GDP. Well, if you have pressure on your income, the first thing what you think about is to think about innovation. What can you do better? Maybe to reduce cost, but also maybe to find other revenue streams. That is what companies at this moment are doing. Not only companies, but also governments. And when the need is high to do something, then you see that there's the highest appetite to transform. And if you look at this moment to our customers in Russia, they're really busy with thinking in new ways or revenue streams, or to be more efficient. And that's happening here today. Is that happening here in Russia maybe faster than it's in other areas of Europe? I think so.
Yeah, I would agree with you, because we already have good examples of 100% online banks. How many online banks you know in your region? Yeah.
I think they are a little bit behind. So still we have a lot of banks. They have
classic banks.
Classic banks. They do things in the classic way. They still have branch offices everywhere. It's expensive. What the trend actually is that you have all your bank work on your iPhone or on your other phone, whatever brand it is. But that's a customer experience what you want to have as a customer of a bank. You want to do all your business on that iPhone. right? And a lot of banks still are traditional. They cannot transform to that point, but they have to. But you see now also some European banks, they make now really good initiatives to go in that direction, but are pretty late. But they have to do this because they have a competitive disadvantage at this moment. Their cost structure is too high. The interest what they get from the market, where they traditionally earn the money with, is very low. So on the one hand, you have to reduce the cost, but on the other hand, you have also to find new ways of revenue streams. And that is what is happening at this moment. So also the transformation is coming now, but you see that some of the Russian banks already have done that.
Let's speak about the future. It's for sure the progress will not stop on digital transformation.
No.
And working with data is one of the evident trends by now.
Yes.
What future do you see?
Well, it's always interesting to look in the future in a fast-changing market.
Let's be creative.
Let's be creative. I think there will be a lot of new companies. So if you look really into the future, I think more and more new type of companies will start, who have not all the legacy from what they have done in the past, and that is also on a worldwide basis what you see happening. I think the creativity will come from very young, innovative new people. I think also here in Moscow you have a taxi service, what is where you can look into an application where the taxi driver is owning his own car, but you can order him like you have in the US, for example, that's Uber, but you have also your equivalent from
yeah,
that.
and not only.
No, not only, and that's the new way of working, and I think those kind of companies will start from scratch. So the change what I see is that disruptive company will bring, let's say, a new customer experience. They will bring a service, but it is actually supported by technology.
It's really a very long and interesting way. But Maarten, can you please name some organizations which got maximum progress in this way, digital transformation? Maybe foreign, maybe Russian?
Well, of course I can name some of the companies and also where I'm pretty inspired with, but let's just look by ourselves, our own company, Hitachi. I admire Hitachi very much, and the reason why I admire Hitachi so much is that they have very clear vision on the Internet of Things, for example. They are leading internally the digital transformation. So we do a lot of work actually to build solutions, social innovation solutions, what is very much related to the IoT. And I will not say that we had this moment all the solutions in front of us. I've shared with you one of the examples, train as a service. But you can imagine that there are a lot of other examples what we can develop. And I cannot talk a lot about that because we have merged a few companies to one type of company, that is Hitachi Insight. And they are very busy to develop solutions, but also applications, what is very good for business, but also for the social environment. Smart cities is one of the examples, of course. That is a continuous development. But why I admire Hitachi so much about that? Because this is a company what is more than 100 years old. And they're able to reinvent themselves. And it is all based on sustainability. They are not, let's say, so focused on to make big money and then work only for the stock market. Of course, we have shareholders, but they are reinvest continuously into R&D and also to be sustainable for the next 100 years, right? And that is important. And therefore, the profit is important to us. And the profit for itself is not only good to give that only to the shareholder, but the profit is very much important, and the cash, what we have to generate to reinvest again into the company.
Okay.
So you see that a lot of investments within Hitachi is moving into our strategic direction, social innovation, but also based on the Internet of Things. And that is what I admire, especially because they are working for sustainability as a company. We want to be an Hitachi for another 100 years.
Okay. Maarten, I regret to say that the time of our program is over. What wishes can you say to your peers in IT?
Have fun and be very passionate in what you can do.
Maarten, many thanks for interesting speech. Уважаемые зрители, в эфире была программа «Технологии, личности. Цифровая трансформация». Я ее ведущий Юрий Скачков и наш гость, господин Maarten Paddenburg. До новых встреч!